Now, I'd like to tell you a story. I've told it before at my meetings, but I shall tell it again because it is so important with what I'm talking about, this extraordinary potential that is in woman's body and man's body. The principle of man in man's body and the principle of woman in woman's body. In other words, what I call the Lord. The Lord is in every body. The Lord is the great executive of God in existence. The Lord is not God, but it is an aspect of God, because God can never be in existence. But the executive of God is the Lord, and the Lord lives in every single human being. And it is that, the realization of the Lord in all of us, that makes the realization of woman and the realization of true man. But the Lord has no gender. It's neither male nor female. But the Lord has to come through either a man or a woman, for there are no in-between genders. And so the Lord appears as a woman or as a man. And if it's a woman, my love as man of her is my love of the principle in her, which is the Lord, the beauty in her. For the Lord is indeed beautiful, being an aspect of God, either in man or woman. But the Lord has no gender and is attributeless. So it has no attributes. And so the finest thing for a man or woman is to give up the human assertion, the human fears, the human being human has worry and doubts and fears, because they're all assertions. To give that up. And then, only then do I see the beauty of the Lord. When I am worried with self-concern, with my own wanting and trying, when I am worried with that, how can I see the Lord? I see the Lord by surrendering all my assertiveness as a man or a woman. Now, the story I'm going to tell you, as I said, I've told before at my meetings, but it's very important here today to what I'm talking about, so that you really grasp this. For if the whole human race could grasp what I'm going to say, there would be a different life on this earth, not a life of unhappiness and misery and wretchedness that comes from time to time, but a life of realization of the Lord and of God and of love in this very existence. Now, about 35 years ago, when I was a young man, I loved a woman so deeply, and so, I can't even say deeply, because I just loved her as God. And predictably, she left me. I say predictably because love serves us in so many ways, its wonders to perform. And so I was so devastated. Imagine if you love someone as God, because I knew I loved her as God, but I had no one in existence who ever had experienced it, or no book to read, no one to say it to. It would sound as though I was just deluded, because in those days, of course, there was no New Age. There were no, all the knowledgeable people hadn't got knowledgeable around us. And all I had was my true experience of this extraordinary love of woman as man, love of woman as God. So I had no one to refer to, but the point was that I couldn't stand it. I was so devastated, as you can imagine, that she had left me, and I did not have the knowledge to know that it was not in this individual woman that I loved. It was something else. But at any rate, I was in an ordinary situation when suddenly I had a vision. And the image of this woman appeared in front of me. Either in my head or in front of me. I don't know which visions. You don't know where they are, really. And she walked from there to here. And as she walked, something fell away from her image, her body. And I exclaimed with great amazement, "It is the Lord." And the woman's image turned to me and said, almost indignantly, "Of course it is I. There is no Anne," which was the name of this woman. Now, isn't that an extraordinary thing? The truth of that means for all of us is that the Lord is inside of us. Of course it is I. There is no Helen. There is no Richard. There's no Mukunda. There's no Alan. There's no Sarah. There's no Neve. There's no Sally. No Katrina. No Robert. It is the Lord in disguise, the potential of beauty of God in each of us. Now, what is the purpose of the spiritual life? What is the purpose of the love of man or woman? It is simply to realize the amazing truth that it is God that I love, it is the Lord that I love in this individual body. And the bodies might go and come and will go away, but it makes no difference, for the Lord is within this body that had the vision, because the woman's body was not there. It was a vision of instruction for me. The Lord is in my body, as the Lord is in your body. And it is the love of the Lord in my body, just like you, that I serve. I know that the anger will keep the realization of the reality of this Lord. I know that that will keep it from, because I can't have self-assertion and expect to find that which is power and does not assert itself in any way whatever except to be the Lord. I can't have resentment. I can't have broken hearts. And although my heart was broken by that experience, I had reached such a depth that I died. And I passed through death. Because most people, when they lose a loved one that they say they really love, and that's fair enough, they love them humanly, you see. They don't love them as God. And so they survive. You have a broken heart, your lover leaves you, but you'll survive, don't worry. The thing is not to survive, to die. And that happened to me psychologically because I couldn't stand it. I died psychologically. And what do you know? I passed through this realm in the psyche, invented by man and woman's imaginations of the need to survive and the fear of death. I passed through that level in the psyche, and I realized in mortality that there is no death, because I died. Instead of surviving with my pain and unhappiness, with my thoughts about the woman, with my lamentations, with my emotional fears that I'll never be able to go on, all this human stuff, I couldn't stand it. I died psychologically. And I passed through this level of no experience, which is death, because death is no experience. Psychologically, this happened to me. And I realized life. Ah, what a beautiful thing to be one with all of life. A thing that never leaves you once it happens. And I was one with all life. Because I had to be able to tell you people And that's why it happened to me, that I had to be able to tell you people the truth of life. That's why it happened to this body and this mind, so that I could, because this body and this mind knew that I was going to be a world teacher. I didn't know such a miracle could possibly happen to this rather silly little man. But it happened so that I could teach you, tell you, not even teach you, but tell you what you are doing through the wonder of the miracle of the vision of the Lord that I have had in this body, and it has never left me. And so I can talk about any aspect of the love of woman, or man's love of woman, or the love of man, because the Lord informs me every moment from within. So now you know what you are doing in your spiritual life, that the light of the Lord is the light of the joyousness of well-being, to be able to well-be instead of unhappy and worried, because it doesn't matter what you're unhappy and worried about, it's going to pass. Nothing that you've ever had has not passed, and it will always pass. And you think it's the end of the world, but of course it's not the end of the world or the end of life. You still go on. You go on forever, whatever that means. So please know that the light inside of you, when you are in love, it is the Lord, the light of the Lord. When you say what a beautiful day it is, you are seeing the light of the Lord in the reflection of what is around you. When you are light-hearted in the sense of joy or rightness or singing just because it is you're in your well-being, it is the light of the Lord that's in your body. But when you are depressed, when you are moody, when you are wanting and unhappy, then it is the darkness of the human condition, of self-assertion,